Ozarks, we've already seen that there was tourism caused by the healing water craze. There was tourism because of the proximity to St. Louis and wealthy city people wanting to have second homes or summer cottages and stuff like that. There was tourism caused by outdoor activities in the Ozarks. And in some cases, there was tourism caused by the heritage of the region or the perceived heritage of the region. One of the more unique aspects of Ozarks tourism here specifically in southwest Missouri is the impact of a novel, The Shepherd of the Hills by Harold Bell Wright, which was published in 1907. And it became so popular and so famous in those early days of the 20th century that the Branson area where the novel was set, the Taney County, Stone County area, the White River Valley down there, became a destination for literary tourists. I believe that's what we call them nowadays, literary tourists, people who are, there are people who go to the Lake Country in England to read stuff, to go see things they've read about. And here in southwest Missouri, people were intrigued by Harold Bell Wright's novel and came because they wanted to see where all the action took place. They wanted to see if Sammy Lane was still around or young Matt and all these characters from the novel. And it really took off in the early 1900s, and especially the Branson area. And this really is the real origin of the tourist industry in Branson. So it's much older than Andy Williams or the Bald Knobbers or the Presleys or any of that kind of stuff or Silver Dollar City. It goes all the way back to the early 1900s. And even before that, there had been a small tourism, very small tourism industry based on cave exploration and things like that, where Marvel Cave is underneath Silver Dollar City today. That had been opened for tours in the late 1800s. But the Branson area really takes off in after 1907, after the publication of this book. It just so happens, going back to Butch's earlier point, that the railroad was in Branson by this time. It had just come through a couple years earlier before the book was published. And so people had an easy way to get to the Branson area, ride the rails and then get off and rent, pay one of the many taxi drivers who were around who would take you on the tours to show you where the Sammy Lane house was and all this kind of stuff. Most of it was just completely made up, because these were fictional characters. And then Branson takes off even more in 1913 when a Power Site Dam was completed, forming Lake Taneycomo. And so you get this little resort town that springs up there on the banks of Lake Taneycomo. And Taneycomo is White River backed up. This was a dam that was built on White River to generate hydroelectricity and also to generate a little tourism-related income, which it did. But all of this kind of stuff impacted southwest Missouri, and a lot of it had to do with again, as I mentioned, the perceived heritage of the region. How many of you have read Shepherd of the Hills? Anybody? Okay, a couple people done it. And Shepherd of the Hills presents the Ozarks as kind of God's country, this place to go back to, to find your health and your spiritual health in this place. People were drawn to it by that. They were also drawn to it by the colorful depiction of characters in there. These Ozarks characters, there were hillbilly characters, there were more kind of noble characters in there. You got a wide range of Ozarks kinds of characters. And these things attracted people too. They wanted to see people like this. See people like, they were convinced people like these hillbillies and noble mountaineers actually existed. And they must be down there around where all the action took place. So this draws people to the Branson area.